This budget represents the first budget to be considered by Council since the 2018 civic election. And there have been many demands placed on this budget. Expectations remain high, but budgets are, at their core, about decision-making, about prioritization, and about making compromises. They also have to make assumptions. They have to forecast, and they often have to do this with imperfect information. The preliminary budgets being tabled today are no different. As many of you know, preparing this year's budget was complicated by ongoing uncertainty regarding provincial government funding support to the City of Winnipeg. I want to reiterate that I fully support the provincial government's efforts to eliminate its budget deficit. I support their quest to return their budget back to a balanced one, and in doing so, follow the city's lead. But I don't believe this should be achieved on the backs of Winnipeg property taxpayers. As such, the preliminary budgets being proposed today for public and council's consideration reflect a balanced, disciplined, and accountable response to the healthy amount of funding uncertainty that remains with respect to the level of provincial capital funding that will be provided to the City of Winnipeg in 2019 and beyond. As I said earlier, the process of budgeting requires that assumptions be made, often with imperfect information. And we've had to do precisely that in preparing this budget. Built into the city's preliminary 2019 budget is the expectation that capital funding from the province will be limited to meeting provincial cash flow commitments for existing capital projects such as the Waverley Underpass and bus rapid transit. Capital funding in 2019 for regional and local roads specifically is expected to be limited to only those commitments made under the Accelerated Regional Roads Program. These limits on funding, together with the provincial decision to not fully fund capital commitments for roads in 2018, creates at least a $40 million hole. It means the regional and local road program in 2019 is budgeted to be $86.4 million. And this represents a significant decrease from previous years and the lowest regional and local road budget since 2014. I spoke earlier this week about options available to Council to address this shortfall. Raise taxes, increase debt, reduce the number of capital projects. I believe the more responsible way to address the shortfall is to reduce the number of road projects rather than ask Winnipeg residents to pay what would be about a 7.1% property tax increase. I also believe a budget reduction is a better option over incurring significantly more long-term debt. Also, I believe it would be irresponsible to budget beyond 2019, that is, to forecast, expecting the provincial government to share the City of Winnipeg's priority to fix our roads. So what does this mean? It means the 5-year capital forecast for the city's regional and local roads program only reflects provincial capital support that has been committed under the Accelerated Regional Roads Program. This means the historic $976 million road renewal plan adopted by Council in September of 2018 would be reduced by $175 million, totaling $801 million, rather than the $976 million over 6 years.